Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures from ages ago. I've reviewed these a long time ago, but somebody asked me to re-review them recently, so I figured I'd pull them out and do a quick look over again at all four of them in one video, so it's kind of concise, and they're basically all the same figure for the most part. The little Ninja Turtles, I think these came with like the special versions that had the fancier packaging. I don't know for sure, I just know that they exist and I ended up getting a set. So you can get the four little turtles. Mine are all the same sculpt, I don't know if that's how it was originally or not. You can also get the TCRI ooze canister in one of the combos. And I think when they were individually packed into cylindrical containers, they had bases also. These guys are from the 4-pack though. They just came as you see them, without the little guys. So, as you can see, the bodies are all essentially the same. They have different bandanas, different heads, and it looks like their belt ties are slightly different also. Other than that, it's just really the accessories. So Donatello, that's what his head looks like. That's pretty standard. They all mostly look the same anyway, since these are based on the comics. So that's Donatello, and he comes with his staff. And as you'll notice, if you put the staff in his hand, the green paint rubs off a lot, even though it separates so that you can get it in his hand. You can pull that apart right there. But if you move it around at all, it ends up turning green, so that's kind of a bummer. Raphael has the size, which can fit in his hand like this, or like this, so that's fine. And they have fairly narrow handles, so you don't have to really worry about that too much, but they look pretty good. And that's what his head looks like. He's nice and angry, so that's appropriate for him. And for Leonardo, we have the sword sheaths on the back, so that's nice that they added those. The swords do fit in them, and the swords look pretty good. You can see they have nice detail in the grips and in the nice silver paint. The bottom part of the sword, this this gold part right here, there it goes, comes off so that you can get it in his hand, but it does tend to end up with green paint on the sword as well, so be careful. And then lastly, oh, by the way, that's his face, kind of a neutral fighting face, but not particularly angry or anything like that. And then we have Michelangelo, who's got the smirk on his face, which is appropriate for him, so that's good. And he's got the nunchucks, which have no easy way of getting them in his hand, so you do tend to get the green paint on there, but they do have the nice metal chains and a nice look to them, so it's a nice bit of accessories. As far as the articulation goes, we have a bald peg, a large bald peg for the head itself. Then we have a hinge that swivels for the neck. Standard ball hinge for the shoulder. Now these are really old, so you'll notice I'm not going to force the articulation too much because it's getting kind of stiff. If you do get a set of these, and make sure you don't get the bootlegs, by the way, because those will fall apart and they don't look as good. If you do get these, just use a hair dryer, soften them up. Just make sure you don't soften them and then twist stuff right off, because you can do that also. Just use some caution, be careful, and you should be okay. So then we also have the elbow joint. It's just a single joint, but it gets really good range of motion. And then we have the wrist joint, which has a hinge and a swivel. So that's pretty good. Torso articulation, I don't know if there is some. Somebody told me once that there is. None of mine have ever moved. I think it's glued, so I think the person just saw the seam in there and thought that it was there, but I don't think there's any actual articulation. For the hips, it's another ball hinge. They're T-jointed ball hinges, so that's really good. You get a thigh swivel also. Really good range of motion. Double jointed knee, so again, really good range of motion. For the ankles, we have the hinge, which has, again, a really good range of motion. Ankle rocker, I think it moves a little bit, but there's almost no range, so you're going to have to kind of deal with that. Another thing, I've been told that the tails rotate. Mine have always been stuck, and I bought these directly from the manufacturer, so I know these aren't bootlegs or anything. None of my tails move. It looks like they might actually rotate, but none of mine do, so that's up to you if they do or not. Be careful about that. So articulation-wise, they're pretty darn good. They have everything we would expect from a modern, highly articulated figure. As far as the paints go, they have the comic-inspired paint job, and it looks really, really good. All the black lines on the green look nice and clean. The shell is shaded and painted with like yellow and orange, and then the black on there. The belt and the armbands and everything are that nice brown with the black, and then the shell is a darker green. Very, very nice looking figures. The white in the eyes and the mouth is really well done. I love these guys. I've never read a Ninja Turtles comic book. I grew up on the cartoon and then the later cartoons and buying figures and stuff, so I'm a Turtles fan. Probably not a hardcore one like people that read the comics are, so I suppose some people are going to say, oh, you're not really a Turtles fan, but whatever. I like the Turtles, and my point is, not having even read the comics, I really, really like these figures. If you like the recent articulated Playmates ones, then you will love these, as long as you don't mind the comic book designs. These are really, really good figures. I don't know if I did a height measurement, so let's do that real quick. They stand about 5 1/4 inches tall, which is about 14 centimeters. So they're probably well enough in scale with most of your 6-inch collectibles. I think they're pretty good. I think you guys should track them down. I don't know what the pricing is anymore. I imagine they're expensive, but I would definitely track them down if you're a Turtles fan. They're really, really well-made figures. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.